Sarah, what are some of the services that you have here at the clinic that I can expect?
We can basically do everything that you could get done in a regular family practice clinic. The only things I can't really do in this particular setting are super messy things. We don't have a sink in this office. I have to walk down the hall. So don't come in with a big bleeding wound that you need sutured up. A little wound, fine. Big one, not so good.
Okay, awesome. I'm pretty healthy. So what kind of services can you have for people that are healthy?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Well, one, high blood pressure. There's no symptoms for high blood pressure. So unless you get that periodically checked, you really have no idea what that's doing. Or what is your cholesterol? When you're over 50, there are health problems that start cropping up that really there are no symptoms, and you can catch things very, very early if you sort of stay on top of them, manage surveillance, even though you feel fine. The object is to continue along that way.
Should I have a physical every year?
That depends. Some people it's useful, some not. A physical nowadays is kind of an insurance definition. More, back in my day, I would think, I feel terrible, I need a complete physical, I need to be checked from head to toe.
Right.
And that's not really what insurance companies think of as a physical. So if you go to your primary care office and you schedule a physical, it's a very different animal than being checked from head to toe because you feel terrible. They won't even do that. They won't do a physical if you feel terrible. They'll switch it to something, looking for that medical problem that exists.
But you can do both of those things here.
I can, yeah. And I'm also not bound by your insurance company's rules because I'm not billing your insurance company. So you feel terrible, you think you need a complete physical. I can do a complete physical the old-fashioned way where I can check you from head to toe.
And is it true? There's no cost to me.
No, none at all. Not at all. The only caveat to that is in this setting, I can't do female pelvic exams.
Okay.
Once we move to a larger setting, I'll be able to, but I'm not set up in this office to do that. But that's just one small part of your body, and I can do everything else.
So I have medications that another doctor has prescribed. If I come and start seeing you on a regular basis, would this be something that you would be able to start managing my prescriptions and look at what meds I'm on? And
Absolutely, yeah. And I can even perhaps take more time in thinking about them and I've already had several patients who are on a number of different medicines who have made some lifestyle adjustments, and we have taken them off of their medicines, and we just watch it very closely, make sure that all is copacetic, and I communicate regularly with their primary care. I'm very sensitive to working with a primary care, particularly if you have a primary care that you really like, who gets you in a timely manner, who listens to you, who you have a long-standing relationship with. You might feel like, well, maybe I shouldn't come to the clinic because I'm stepping on toes and I don't want to jeopardize that relationship. I'm very sensitive to that because I am a primary care in other settings, and I'm sort of a control freak. I want to take care of you, and if I'm taking care of you, I don't want someone else messing with the plan.
Right.
So I will work closely with your primary care.
I don't have to totally dump my primary care.
No.
I can still see my primary care if I want.
Absolutely.
And see you. Or if I do want to, I can go ahead and just come straight to you and not have to go to the primary
You
care.
can mix and match. You can see your primary care for chronic things. You can come here for, you have the flu or something. You can do some things. I have a few patients where they're on chronic medicines and their primary care requires an office visit every time they're refilled, and the expense of that really adds up.
That does really add up.
So I'm working with their primary care who is seeing them just once a year, and then I'm doing the other prescribing of the medicine.
That saves a lot of money.
It saves a lot of money and a lot of time. A lot of primary cares you have to wait a bit.
Well, and I noticed that when I came in, I got to come right in. I wasn't sitting in a waiting room. I wasn't, that you weren't running behind, all of those things.
In this setting, I will never be running behind.
Okay.
I have the luxury of giving you as much time as you need and scheduling for that.
Okay.
So when you walk in the door, you come right in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's great to meet you, and I'm so glad that I have an opportunity for you to start managing my care.
Me too.
Awesome. before you finish up, I just have a couple other questions for you. If I need to see a specialist, how does that work with this office?
Well, it works very smoothly. I have relationships with somebody in every specialty that you can possibly think of in town. I can arrange for you to be seen by a specialist. I can usually arrange for it quite promptly, getting you in perhaps sooner than even a primary care might be able to, because you don't need to wait to see the primary care first.
So one of the other things that really kind of drives me crazy is that my primary care requires an office visit for everything. Now, how does that work here?
Well, I can see it from your primary care's point of view that they want to give good care. They're also perhaps needing the office visit charge a little bit, where I don't have that issue here. You don't pay anything. I make nothing extra if I see you or don't see you. I can prescribe anything that anybody else can prescribe for you with very minor exceptions.
So if I'm too sick to come in, I can call you and you're not going to make me throw up in your waiting room?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
The only caveat there is you need to establish care first as a patient. So
And that simply is coming in, filling out that paperwork.
Exactly, yeah, and you don't even have to have a reason to come in. You can come in, you're totally healthy, you just want to establish care here.
Got it. And you do that then for my children?
Yeah.
My spouse?
And then, if you are sick, say you're in Portland. I had a patient up in Portland for the delivery of a baby, and she had a medical problem and needed antibiotics. I was able to call that up to a pharmacy right near her in Portland, and she didn't have to go to urgent care in Portland, which is what she would have had to have done.
Nice.
Another patient has a history of bee sting allergies and needed an EpiPen, and she could just call and I can send that prescription in for an EpiPen.
Nice.
If you're at home vomiting, I can prescribe anti-nausea medicines for you, and you do not have to come in.
Matter of fact, you probably don't want me to come in, is that
right?
right?
If you need to, definitely can. But yeah, I mean, down the road there can be many handy benefits to you if you have established care.
So basically, if I could get my spouse to come in here, who, sometimes we struggle a little bit with those guys going to the doctor, and if he establishes care with you, then anything down the road that he needs to be helped with.
Yeah. Same with the kids.
Same thing, kids.
Kids always get their ear infections Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. And then okay.
I can help with that.
Awesome.